Here we are once again in my garden on another miserable day in England. But today is a bit different. We're going to fit a new luggage rack to the Honda Monkey. We've had this one for a while now and I'm a bit concerned about its integrity. I mentioned before when we went to the Dragon Rally that I was a bit worried that it was going to bend in some of the weak points. So we've been on Facebook Marketplace, we've been looking around and we've managed to find ourselves a decent heavy duty luggage rack. And as well, we've also got ourselves a top box that fits with it. And we got these for an absolute bargain. So what the plan is today is we're going to take off the seat, take off the luggage rack. I'll show you the new luggage rack I've got in a second and the box. And then we're just going to fit all in reverse and just see how we get on really. Let's get to it. This is the current luggage rack that we've been using, and to be fair it's a good little luggage rack. There's been no real problems with it as such. My only concern is loading it up to the volumes that I want to do. You know, if you wanted to use it as a normal rack, it's bang on really. It's all you really need. It's not the most high end of ones, but it's absolutely perfect, and I am very happy with it in most circumstances. But for me, I'm wanting to put some heavy luggage on here this summer. I've got a lot of adventuring to do, and if you look, it's got things like it's not really welded together, it's just kind of brazed there, brazed in the joints, and even the connector here is brazed. And as much as they are probably going to be quite strong, I've just got a bit of a worry about this section here. So if I've got everything out this way, levering, I just don't want this tubing to start to bend there. I've got a feeling it'll be absolutely fine, don't get me wrong. We've been to Wales in a Dragon Rally with it, so that is my concern. Here's the one that I picked up off Facebook, and as you can see, the bars are a lot bigger if we do a comparison here. So let's compare them. As you can see, these ones are tiny, which are currently on it, and these are massive. There's no real brazing to it. That's all crimped. These look like proper welds which are on these little bars here. There's if they have been brazed, they've been well treated afterwards, but this is pretty much brand new from what I can tell from what the guy we're using for. There's barely a mark on it. There were no dirt as such, it's just been put in storage. So the plan is, let's get this old one off and this one on. So I'll show you the top box now. First, let's have a brew. Just spilt bloody tea down me now, haven't I? Here is the box precariously placed on the old luggage rack. It's got some hooks and everything underneath it. It comes with a base plate, so it does fit on quite steady. This luggage rack just isn't adequate enough to put a box on. It was owned by a previous Monkey owner, so as you can see, the Honda Monkey signs are on it. And this is made by, let's have a go at pronouncing it with it, well, shall we? Xingqiuzhia, I'm guessing it is Xingqiuzhia, and I think it's just kind of a brand off Temu. I don't think it's a proper motorcycle brand, but it is absolutely solid. And if you want to open it, there's a key obviously with it, but there's a button there you press and that pops up, the top latch comes off, and then we've got inside a lovely set of pockets there, the keys, some more stickers, and it's going to fall if I let go of it. But I have done my maths on this. It didn't come with any instruction or anything, and it is 20 litres. If you do your length times width times height, you get 20 litres for this box. But yeah, I'm quite happy with it. So let's start by getting the seat off and putting on, well, getting the old luggage rack off, and then we can go from there. If you don't have to take your Honda Monkey seat off, it's very simple. If you most likely don't have any of these plugs in, I've got these Yoshimura ones, so I'll just take them out. They just slide out, they're just them kind of plugs, rubber seal on them. They are hard to get out, to be honest, so my fingers are hurting a bit now. Chances are you've either got a screw in there which uses a Phillips, or if you're like me, you've upgraded the nuts and bolts in there because the other ones were just rounding off. I've put 6mm, I'll show you what I've got for them. Here's one I removed earlier. These are just 6mm M10 bolts with a split washer on them and a normal washer, just so it doesn't come off. So I've got one of them in there, and then that seat should just slide off and we're good to go. It's that simple. This is how the luggage rack is actually fitted. So what you've got is you've got two nuts and bolts which go there. I don't think I've actually put any bolts on this. I think it was just the nuts were so tight fitting, they were, yeah, that they went through there which was drilled and threaded, so that's quite good. And then what you've got is you've got this 15mm nut on the end there. Now I'm really old school and all my tools are Imperial, so I just use a 9/16, which to be honest does give a bit of give, and I'm going to have to upgrade my socket set eventually. But the simple thing is we just loosen them off because there's no end on that, so that'll just slide out. We'll take these nuts out here, and the hardest bit is actually just trying to slide this out because it seems to get stuck in there. It's a very narrow gap, so I'm hoping that the new one I've got fits in just nicely, because I don't want to be cracking the plastic on here. But right, let's remove some bits and bats. Keep forgetting that I've got a cup of tea here because I'm just too busy trying to bring you that quality content that you all just, you know, you're all just craving. So we're feeling a bit posh today because we've gone for Yorkshire Tea Gold on Weekly Shop. It was cheaper, so here's to you lot. It's very nice. Now we just need to give it a bit of a tap, 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 tap. Well, that came out easier than I thought it did. Great. These are the two luggage racks we've got to deal with now. So we've got the silver one and the black one, and as you can see, the main difference is the size of the tubes. The black tube is a lot bigger than that, but to be fair, this silver one seems to weigh more than this one, which, you know, isn't giving me the most confidence, to be honest, because I thought this would be a bit more of a denser metal. But the end bits, one's longer than the other, but one's wider. So eventually, if this doesn't work out, we're probably going to end up putting this silver one back on. And but let's go with the black one for now and see how we get on. I didn't want to film myself trying to squeeze this in because I don't think you're going to learn anything from it. It's just trial and patience. The hard bit about this is getting this bar underneath there centrally, because you've got a tiny gap and a lot of bends. I think it'd be easier if you had the stock shocks here. Mine are aftermarket shocks. I've got these big things here, they're thick and fat around that bit, so I just couldn't seem to angle it down enough to get it over that bar without it hitting this. So there might be a couple of scratches on the back of my shocks there, but it has gone in all right. It does marry up perfectly in the holes right there, so I'm quite happy with that. We'll tighten up all the nuts and bolts, and we'll start seeing if we can fit the seat back and then the top box. These nuts and bolts under here are quite fiddly, because if you look how much distance you get with your fingers, you can't really get them in as such, especially when you've got to hold the bolt in. So that's the worst bit, I think, over with. We've just put the seat back on now. We've got the plugs in there, everything's connected. These are tightened up. The nuts and bolts underneath the seat are tightened up, and this is the rack. And although it goes out a bit further back, it's not quite as wide as the other one was, and I'm a bit dubious at this one, to be honest. It's a heavy duty one. It does seem to have a bit of play. If I put a bit of weight on it, it has a little bit of flex right around here. That's what we're hoping to incorporate. You never know, it might work out all right, because when we've got a top box on there, that flex might absorb a bit of the impact, so it doesn't actually weaken it as you think. But I put a good bit of weight on it. It hasn't seemed to bend yet, but we'll a couple of trial runs out with it, we'll put some proper heavy weight on it. But let's get that box on, shall we? So this is your box, and this is what comes underneath it. If you bought it from brand new, I'm not sure what you're going to get in the box anyway, but this one just came with this solid metal base plate here. Looks like it's already joined onto the box using these 4 screws which are in the fixtures, and these wing nuts are obviously what the other gent used to hold it onto the box. I've had a look underneath, and I don't know if you can see it, but they're just basically hex screws. But I'm hoping I'd have to take this entire plate off. It's not a problem if I do, it's only 4 screws, don't get me wrong, well 5 including them. But I think it might be easier if we just try to slot it on the back. And if I tighten these up, I'm hoping that it'll get enough friction behind it so that it'll actually just grip both sides of the screw. But yeah, there's only one way to find out, so let's do that. Yeah, we just had a quick look. It's not going to fit on there straight away like that, and I'm just can't be bothered. But we have realised something. Now, we're operating without the instructions, but me being top class engineer that I am, we figured out that if we remove that there, this just slides towards us a bit harder with one hand. So we'll get back to this. Shazam! It just comes straight off like that. So that's easy enough now. So now we can just stick this on like that, and then just slide the box on and attach it and just use the keys to keep it latched on. What a smart idea. Let's do that now. Here we have it. This is how we fixed it on now. So I might have tightened it a bit too much. I put a bit of a bow in the middle, but I don't know if that's me or if that's how it was before prior. But we've attached it using these wing nuts underneath like that. The main thing for me is I didn't want all of these on the main three, on the middle two runs, because if these two middle runs here break, then that's going to come flying off. So I've put one which is attached to that run, and then these two are on these other two runs there. It's solid. I quite like it. Let's put the top box on it and see how it looks. I'm just going to give it a bit of a spray with WD-40 on there and a bit of a rub and get these marks off it quite nicely, apart from the scuff marks. But yeah, the box is great. Let's slide it on. So it's finally on, and I can show you the box a bit better now without it doing. So we made sure it attaches to the frame all right, and like I said, to open it there's a button underneath. We'll lift that up, and I'm not scared it's going to fall off anymore. That there is the 20-litre box. We've got a set of keys, and can put all sorts in there. But it'll do quite nicely for like a little bit of a day box, you know, just booting around the hills and everything like that. Stick your gloves in there, stick your cameras in there if need be. Close that up. We just close that. Let's see if the keys work. That's locked. Let's see if this one works. Now that's locked, so no one can just press that down, lift it and just slide it off. So that's all locked up. Let's open them back up. Bit of a helicopter coming back up. Throw them in there. The concern obviously is the strength of the stand on there. To say it's a heavy duty stand, I'm not convinced, to be honest, because I've got a feeling that if I just give that a wiggle, can you see? Giving that a yank down. There's quite a bit of flex in that. You might not be able to because of the bike. But my plan is, if I can put a bag on the top of here, I need to find somewhere to put my saddlebags for when I'm camping. I can sit on them because my legs will go down the sides, but I might just throw them on quickly now and just see what it looks like. So this is how I was planning on setting it all up. I thought the saddlebags would be a problem though, so I thought I'd have a bit of room to still have half them on the luggage rack and half them on the seat. But in all fairness, I don't actually need to have them on the luggage rack, because I can actually just sit on that middle part there and my legs nicely just fall in the right position. They don't get in the way whatsoever. I've just had a quick sit on it, I'll show you in a minute. And then this box here comes with all the holes on it anyway, so all my straps for my luggage bag, excuse the dirt on it, we still don't clean it from the Dragon Rally, can just go through these things here, so I can still access my box and lift it. So if you see what I mean, my legs go perfectly down to the pedals there, so that's not a problem either side. I can sit on these will attach underneath the seat, which is not a problem whatsoever. My tent's going to go on the H2C rack at the front, because we did really well on that, and this bag can just sit on the back there. The weight's not really going to be too much of an issue in summer, because you know, when you're camping in winter you've got to take your boots and everything like that, but in summer you don't really have to take as much stuff, do you? You just spare change of clothes, pyjamas, sleeping bag and everything. So I think it's going to be absolutely fine. I've still got a backpack on my back as well, so I can take a bit more stuff, but if anything I've got a bit more room. I am just concerned about the weight on the rack there, so we are going to put like some bricks in that box in a bag, and I'm going to ride around and just see if it does bend at all. But other than that, no problems whatsoever. I'm quite happy with it. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. I'm going away tomorrow with the Monkey Revolutionaries. We're going to go cook up, I think it's called the Monkey Cookout. They do it every now and then. So that's over in Lancashire. We are heading over to the wrong side of the hill, but it's okay, we'll take everything we need to survive, and yeah, we'll cook up a storm. So I'll see you next time.